Hello students, from this session we will start the unit third. Unit third is related to the permission model of blockchain. So before studying this permission model of blockchain, we will revise the types of blockchains. Types of blockchains we have studied in the session 8. So this permission model of blockchain is one of the type of blockchains. So before studying this, we have to understand the types of blockchains, and then we will study the permission model of blockchain. From this session, we will start the unit third. Unit third is related to the permissioned blockchain. So in this unit, we have to study permission model of blockchain, its use cases. Then also we have to study design issues for permission blockchain, execute contracts, state machine replication. Then we have to study the consensus models for permission blockchains. We have to study the consensus algorithm that are specifically used for permission blockchain. These consensus algorithms are based on BFT algorithms. We have to study distributed consensus in closed environment, Paxos, RFT consensus, Byzantine general problem, then Byzantine fault tolerant systems, Lamport, Shostak, piece BFT algorithm, and BFT or asynchronous system. So these topics we have to study in unit third. This unit third is specifically related to the permission model of blockchain. So before understanding the permission model of blockchains, we will try to understand the types of blockchains. As the this permission blockchain is one of the type of the different blockchains. So students, in unit 1 we have studied different types of blockchains. So we will revise these topics because before starting studying this permission model of blockchain, we have to understand the types of blockchain, so we can understand the difference between the public, private, and permission model of blockchains. So we have studied basically there are three types of blockchains: public blockchains, private blockchains, and permissioned blockchain. There are further subtypes also: semi-private blockchains, side chains, tokenless, that we have studied in the session 8. So we will revise the same things. So we have studied permissioned blockchain. As the name suggests, public blockchains. We have to study the public blockchains. So as the name suggests, public blockchains are not owned by anyone. Anyone can participate in the public blockchains. Any node can participate. Any node can join this public blockchain network. These blockchain networks are open to public, and anyone can participate as a node in the decision making process. Any node can participate in the consensus mechanism also. So users may or may not be rewarded for their participation. So we have studied different types of consensus algorithm for public blockchains. So all users of this permissionless, or we can say public blockchains, maintain a copy of the ledger. Each node in the public blockchain maintains a copy of the ledger, and this copy of the ledger is updated, and it uses a distributed consensus mechanism to decide on the state of the ledger. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are both considered the public blockchain. So we have studied a lot of things about this public blockchains. We have studied the consensus, different consensus algorithm, proof of work, proof of stake, proof of burn, and other consensus algorithm also we have studied in the previous sessions. Now in this unit we have to study the permission blockchain. So there are different types of blockchains: public, private, and uh, permission. So as these public blockchains are open blockchains, anyone can participate. Any node can join the network. Any node can join in the mining process also, in the consensus process also, and users may get the reward or may not get the reward in public blockchains. Then we have studied the private blockchains also. As the name implies, private blockchains are just that private. That is, they are open only to a group of individuals or consortium or organization. These blockchains are private blockchains are for specific organization who have decided to share the information among themselves. Some private organization, some company can create the such type of blockchains for information sharing among themselves. So these are the various blockchains. There are various blockchains now available in this category, such as Hydra chain, Quorum. Optionally, both of these blockchains can also run in the public mode if required. These blockchains can work in the public mode also if required, but their primary purpose is to provide a private blockchain. Then another type of this private and public blockchain is semi-private blockchains. So in semi-private blockchain, some part of the blockchain is private and some part of the blockchain is public. So this is just a concept today. Now in the world there is no such kind of blockchain exist, or there is no any implementation of this semi private blockchain. This is just concept. Such type of blockchain may be there. Some part of the blockchain may be private and some part of the blockchain may be public. So with the semi private blockchain, the private part is controlled by a group of peoples, while the public part is open for participation by anyone. Anyone can participate in the public part of the blockchain, and some part of the blockchain may be private and only group of people can access this private part of the blockchain. So this hybrid model can be used in scenarios where the private part of the blockchain remains internal and shared among the known participants, while the public part of the blockchain can still be open and can be used by anyone, optionally allowing the mining to secure the blockchain. So this type of blockchain also be called as a semi-decentralized model of the blockchain. So in this blockchain, some part of the blockchain is private and some part of the blockchain is public. In public part of the blockchain, anyone can participate, and private part of the blockchain remains internal and shared among the known participants. This is the concept for this semi-private blockchains. Then side chains is one of the type of blockchain. This blockchain is known as pegged side chains. This is a concept whereby coins can be moved from one blockchain to the another blockchain and moved back again. So typical uses include the creation of altcoins. This altcoin is one of the cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, whereby coins are burnt. Coins are burnt as a proof of an adequate stake. So we have studied proof of burn consensus algorithm. In that proof of burn, certain number of coins are burned, and the node that will burn the more coins, that node will get the chance to propose a block in the blockchain, that we have studied in the second unit also. So this burning of coins in this context means that the coins are sent to an address which is unspendable. These coins are unspendable, and this process makes the burn coins irrecoverable. We know that once the coins are burnt, that coins are not available. That coins cannot be recovered. That we have studied in the proof of burn consensus algorithm. So these side chains are based on this proof of burn mechanism. So this mechanism is also called proof of burn mechanism that we have studied in the previous session, and it is used as an alternate method for distributed consensus. This is used as an alternate method of consensus. This algorithm is proof of burn algorithm is the alternate algorithm for proof of work and proof of stake. So these side chains are based on this mechanism. So this is one of the type of blockchain. Then most important that we have to start studying the permission blockchain in this unit. This unit third is based on the permission blockchain. So we have to study. Sometimes the permission blockchains are also called federated blockchains or consortium blockchains. So these are the alternate names to the permissioned blockchains. Permission blockchains are also known with the names federated blockchain or consortium blockchain. So we will see what is the speciality of this permission blockchain. A permission ledger is a blockchain where participants of the network are already known and trusted. So in public blockchain we know that anyone can participate in the anyone can join the public blockchain. Participants are not known to each other. Participants are not trusted participants. In public blockchain, the participants do not trust each other. But permission blockchain is the reverse of the public blockchain. In permission blockchain, the participants are known participants. The participants are already known. That participants are trusted participants, and permission ledgers do not need to use a distributed consensus mechanism. So there is no need of distributed consensus mechanism. Instead, the agreement protocol is used to maintain a shared version of truth about the state of the records on the blockchain. So in this case, verification of the transactions on the chain, all verifiers are already pre-selected, because all verifiers are already known, and these verifiers are selected by a central authority, and typically there is no need for a mining mechanism. So in this permission blockchain there is no need for mining mechanism. So by definition there is also no requirement for a permission blockchain to be private. So as it can be public blockchain but with regulated access control. So there is a central authority that selects the participants, and that participants are already known participants. Participants are already trusted participants. For example, Bitcoin can become a permissioned ledger if an access control layer is introduced on top of it that verifies the identity of the user. So in Bitcoin network, if the identity of the user is verified, if the user is already known, if the user is trusted user, then that Bitcoin blockchain can become a permissioned blockchain. So this is one of the type of the blockchain, and this unit third is dedicated for studying this permission type of blockchain. So there are several benefits of this permission blockchain. So we will study in coming sessions what are the benefits of this permission blockchain and what type of consensus algorithm, consensus mechanism is used in the permission blockchain. Permission blockchain requires a specific special type of algorithms, consensus algorithm that we have to study in the coming sessions. This is one of the type of blockchain, fully private and proprietary blockchains. So again there is no any application, mainstream application of this type of blockchains. as they deviate from the core concept of decentralization in blockchain. So these blockchains are contradicting the concept of decentralization. Private blockchains are means the blockchains are private. That blockchains are used by some specific or private organization, and in blockchains we know that in public blockchains anyone can join the network, anyone can participate in the consensus mechanism, but this concept is different from the blockchain. So uh, this is the concept that is different from the decentralization. So in this specific in this fully private or proprietary blockchains, there could be a need to share the data among the known participants. There is a need to share the data among the known participants and provide some level of guarantee of the authenticity of the data. So in this, that the data is guaranteed data, that data is authentic data, that guarantee is needed, and that kind of data is shared among the known participants, and such type of blockchains are said to be fully private, or you can say proprietary blockchain. So an example of this type of blockchain might be to allow for a collaboration and sharing data between various government departments. So various government departments can use such type of blockchains where the participants are already known participants are trusted participants, and the data is authentic data. So in that case, in this case there is no need of complex consensus mechanism, because participants are already known and data is authentic data. And apart from simple state machine replication, an agreement protocol with non-central validators is essential in such kind of fully private blockchain. So even in private blockchains, tokens are not really required. There is no need of tokens, but they can be used as means of tokens means we can say coins, or kind of information that we transfer, that share between the known participants or in the blockchain. So even in these private blockchains, tokens are not really required, but they can be used as means of transferring value or representing some real world assets. So this is one of the type of blockchain, fully private and proprietary blockchains. Then our main focus in this unit is permissioned model of blockchain. So we have to study the permissioned model of blockchain in this unit, and different algorithms, consensus algorithm used for permission model of blockchain that we have to study in this unit. So a permission blockchain is a closed ecosystem in which each participant is well defined. Each participant is well defined, each participant is known participant, and participants are pre-selected by the central authority, and participants are trusted participants. And this type of blockchain is built to allow an organization or a consortium of organizations to efficiently exchange information and record transactions. So this type of blockchain is for some organization. In that organization, the participants are already known participants, are trusted participants, and if that group of participants, if the group of nodes want to efficiently exchange the information and record transactions, so in that case this permission model of blockchain can be used. A permission blockchain model is run by the member of consortium or stakeholders to obtain or to form a blockchain network. Only pre-approved entities, the nodes, the peoples that are already known, such type of pre-selected, pre-approved entities can run this type of blockchain, permissioned type of blockchain. So only pre-approved entities can run the nodes that validate the transactions, that create the blocks and execute the smart contracts on the blockchain. So permission blockchain make it easy to share the trusted information in a secure context and with the confidentiality that the businesses need to operate effectively. So this is for so businesses if they want the secure platform to share their information among the known participants. So in that case, this permission model of blockchain can be used. So we will study in more detail about this permission model of blockchain in the coming sessions. So there are several benefits of this permission model of blockchain. It has efficient performance as the participants are already known, participants are trusted participants, and these participants can share the information using this permission model of blockchain. And then this permission model of blockchain has the proper governance structure. So we know that as already in previous slides I have told you, the participants are pre-selected by central authority. So there is a proper structure to control this permission model of blockchain. There is a proper governance mechanism to control the permission blockchain. So this permission model of blockchains are more secure and faster as compared to the public blockchain, because the participants are already known, and how many nodes will participate in the permission blockchain that is already known. So its performance is deterministic. We can know how this permission blockchain will work. That is already known to everyone. It is faster. So these are the some benefits of this permission model of blockchain: efficient performance as compared to the public blockchain, and then it has proper governance structure, then it has decentralized storage. Then also this permission model of blockchain is cost effective. So we will study about these different benefits of this permission model of blockchain in the next session. So this is the table that shows the comparison between the permission blockchain and permissionless. Permissionless blockchains are nothing but the public blockchains. There is no need of permission. Anyone can join the network in public blockchains, or we can say permissionless blockchain. So we will compare these two types of blockchain, public blockchains and permission blockchains. So with different parameters. So first parameter to compare is speed. Speed of permission blockchain is faster as compared to the permissionless. Permissionless blockchains are slower blockchains, as the anyone can join the network. Number of nodes are more. More complicated consensus mechanism is required because participants are not trusted in permissionless blockchain. But in permission model of blockchain, the participants are pre-approved, participants are pre-selected, and participants are known, and participants are limited. So this permission model of blockchain is more faster as compared to the permissionless blockchain. Then second property, that is privacy. In privacy, the membership is private membership. The members are pre-selected, members are pre-approved. But in case of permissionless, or we can say public blockchains, these public blockchains are transparent blockchains, open blockchains. Anyone can become a member, anyone can join a network. Size of the network, we cannot calculate the size of the network, because anyone can join the network, and how many people will join, that is, there is no limitation on the public blockchain. So then next parameter is legitimacy. So the permission model of blockchain is legal blockchain, because already it has well proper governance mechanism. Participants are participants are pre-selected, pre-approved. So this blockchain is legal blockchain, and permission blockchain is illegal. Anyone can join the network, and there is no a proper control mechanism. So it is for controlling the permission or public blockchain, the only way is that the consensus mechanism. It is based on the consensus, or you can say the agreement between the participants. Then the next parameter to compare is ownership. In permission blockchain, the permission blockchain is managed by a group of nodes that are predefined. But in permission less blockchain, or you can say public blockchain, there is no ownership. This is a complete decentralized blockchain. There is no central authority that will control the public blockchain or permissionless blockchain. So this is public ownership. No one owns the network in permission, but in permission blockchain this is managed by a group of nodes that are already predefined. Then next parameter to compare is decentralization. In permission blockchain it is partially decentralized, but permissionless blockchain, or we can say public blockchain, is completely decentralized blockchain. Permission blockchain is the next parameter to compare is cost. Permission blockchain is cost effective because participants are known participants, and participants are limited. It is for a group of peoples. But in case of permissionless blockchains, these blockchains are not so cost effective. And if you compare the last parameter, that is security, so if you see the security aspect of permission blockchains are less secure because there is no distributed consensus mechanism. But permissionless blockchains are more secure. So in permission blockchain, participants are already trusted participants, already pre-approved participants, and if such type of participant misbehave, that are already pre-selected. That may create the problem in the permission model of blockchain. So this is these blockchains are less secure as compared to the permissionless blockchains. In permissionless blockchains or public blockchain, we use the different kind of consensus algorithm like proof of work, proof of stake, proof of burn, proof of elapsed time that we have studied in the previous session. So these are the various differences. So we will learn about this permission blockchain in more detail in coming sessions. So students,